The criticism narrating the imitation or representation of the world and human life is known as mimetic criticism. It is one type of criticism, and it is its definition that it narrates the imitation or representation of the world and human life. The criticism evaluating a work of art in terms of its effects on the reader is known as pragmatic criticism. It is another type of criticism, and it evaluates a work of art in terms of its effects on the reader while he was reading it. The criticism viewing a work of art as primarily an expression of the spirit, ideas, beliefs, values, or emotions or of its creator is known as expressive criticism. So expressive criticism is basically the work of art as primarily an expression of the spirit, ideas, beliefs, values or emotions of its creator, and the work of art is viewed based on these aspects. Then the criticism viewing the work of art as an autonomous and self-contained object is known as objective criticism. So object is important here, the purpose is important here. Then the criticism that views the work of art as a product of the period is known as historic criticism. So historical aspect is important here while viewing the work, while evaluating the particular work. Then, which type of criticism interprets the work of art in terms of moral, ethical, or political messages? So, didactic criticism, it is didactic criticism in which the work of art is interpreted in terms of moral, ethical, or political messages. Who defined sublimity as the echo of greatness of spirit? As the echo of greatness of spirit, and this phrase is defined by Longinus. Longinus defined the sublimity in this phrase, the echo of greatness of spirit. Which literary figure is known as the father of descriptive criticism? So the father of descriptive criticism is John Dryden, very famous critic of literary criticism, and he is known as the father of descriptive criticism. The concept of utilitarianism is associated with Jeremy Bentham. Yes, friends. So Jeremy Bentham is the person to which this concept is associated. This concept is connected in the literary criticism. Alienation effect is a term associated with Bertolt Brecht. Bertolt Brecht is a person to which this term is associated. Alienation effect. In new criticism, the key term tension is associated with Alan Tate. Alan Tate is the critic to which this term tension is associated in the new criticism theory. The principle of uncertainty is attributed to Werner Heisenberg. Werner Heisenberg is the person to which the principle of uncertainty is attributed. Which critic has talked about total structure and local structure? It was John Crowe Ransom, very famous critic of new criticism. He talked about total structure and local structure in his literary theory. Which term Derrida used to refer to the unresolvable difficulties a text may open up? It was aporia. Aporia is the term which Derrida used to refer to define the unresolvable difficulties a text may open up. Which theological term was brought into literary criticism by James Joyce? It is epiphany. Epiphany is a literary term that James Joyce used a lot in his work, and he brought it into literary criticism. Which African American critic is the author of The Signifying Monkey? It was Henry Louis Gates Jr. Yes, Henry Louis Gates Jr. is the African American critic. That is important. African American critic Henry Louis Gates Jr. is the author of the work the signifying monkey. Aporia is a state of undecidability. Yes, it is a state of undecidability. It means undecidability state. The lost generation is a name applied to the disillusioned intellectuals and aesthetes of the years following the First World War. Who called them the lost generation? So, who gave this name to them? It was Gertrude Stein who gave this name to these artists, these writers, the lost generation. Alexander Pope's essay on criticism deals with the merits and limitations of the 18th century school of poetry. So, essay on criticism is actually the description about the merits and limitations of the 18th century school of poetry. So, poetry is depicted here in critical way. So, merits and limitations are described by Alexander Pope in Essay on Criticism, and it is a work of 18th century. Who said honest criticism and sensitive appreciation is directed not upon the poet but upon the poetry. So, this statement, very famous statement, is given by I.A. Richards, the very famous critic of New Criticism. He said that honest criticism and sensitive appreciation is directed not upon the poet but upon the poetry. Epiphany means a sudden spiritual manifestation. So, it is, this phrase is its definition, a sudden spiritual manifestation is defined as epiphany. Epiphany is, as we discussed earlier, that this word, this particular term was used by James Joyce in his work, and it means a sudden spiritual manifestation. A reader judging a poem through its emotional result on himself, herself, is said to be suffering from affective fallacy. Yes, what is affective fallacy is described here. When a reader judges a poem through its emotional result on himself or herself, it's said to be suffering from affective fallacy. So, emotional affect is, we can see here, that is, it is known as affective fallacy. That the primarily aim of literature is to defamiliarize is a stance taken by the Russian formalists. Yes, so defamiliarizing is the primary aim of literature, and that is the belief of the Russian formalists. Intertextuality is a term that indicates that a text's meaning is related to the meaning of other texts. That is intertextuality. So, depending on another text, one text depends on another text. That is intertextuality. The meaning of text is related to the meaning of other texts. So, that is intertextuality.